Huh. I have waited to make this video for a very long time. The year is 2007. I was in first standard. I was the silent introverted kid who wouldn't really talk to anyone, just hang around and exist. But all I did care about was getting back home so that I can play games on my computer. I would get like one video game in like every 2 to 3 months, and all of these games would come from Bombay for rupees 50. Yeah, I know piracy laws weren't really prominent in the year 2007, and they wouldn't get really reinforced till the year 2011. I was a 6 or a 7-year-old kid. Why would I care how I got the game? All I cared about was playing the game. You don't have any moral values when you're a kid. Now, these pirated games would usually come in CDs. You guys remember CDs, right? Compact discs. And I put these pirated CDs into my good old Lenovo in all of its insane specs of i3 processor and 3 GB RAM and maybe 250 gigs of hard drive storage, which is faster than a Lamborghini. I'm just joking. I love that computer. It's the reason why I fell in love with content creation. Anyways, out of all of the 100 pirated games that I bought, one game would really stand out for me. And once I completed the setup wizard of that game, that one game would change my perspective on video games forever. Just a heads up, for this review I did buy the game, of course, because I don't pirate anymore and the laws are very strict, so there's no piracy involved at all. All of this clip from this game, I've bought the game. Sam, don't kill me please. Some of you always ask me, Aryan Sahu, how is it that you're so good at FPS game? And my straight up answer without any second thought is, Max Payne made me this good. And then every person that I tell this answer to, they act kind of like confused. They go like, huh? What? Which game? I don't know about that game. So here is this video to educate you about the game that I love so much. And let me just tell you, I fucking love Max Payne. I love Max Payne. And any of my earlier exposure to FPS games were usually from CS 1.6 and Virtue Cop 2, both great games honestly, but these FPS games didn't really have any story to them. But on the other hand, Max Payne was filled with stories and great characters in it. So my mind just kinda... Now hold on a second, before we start discussing the game, I feel like my outfit isn't appropriate to discuss the game, so I'll be back. So, where was I? Alright, now let's start talking about Max Payne 2, the fall of Max Payne. The game starts with Max Payne, an NYPD detective waking up in a hospital disoriented with millions of thoughts in his mind and trying to recollect the recent events and trying to understand how did he end up here in a hospital. Now one more thing before we move ahead, Max Payne isn't only a gunslinging maniac detective, but he also has a great way and a great control over the English language. Like, this man has to be an English literature graduate before he became a detective. The wordplay, the skills to speak is incredible.
There was a blind spot in my head. A bullet-shaped hole where the answer should be. Call it denial. I wanted to dig inside my skull and scrape out the pain.
As the name of the game suggests, fall of Max Payne, a fall which is much greater and bigger than the Roman Empire or the fall of the Tony Montana Empire. Now I can see the question forming in your eyes and mind, well, who is the reason behind the fall of the great detective Payne? Well, what's the reason for the downfall of any man? It's a damsel in distress. The Elvira to our Tony Montana, Mona Sachs. Now I will let you guys in on a secret. That shower scene of Mona Sachs, that's the second time that the world of Aryan Sahu was rocked as a first standard kid. Like, oh my god, that scene is incredible. The first time will always be the undefeated, the queen herself, the chick from Most Wanted. Now Mona is a suspect in a case and is wanted by the police department, and Max Payne does his absolute best to protect her. Now this is the perfect time to tell you guys about the bad guy of the game, Vladimir Lem or Vlad. Now, Vlad is a Russian nightclub owner and his go-to line is,
"Have no fear, Vlad is here."
Here is a fun part for you guys watching the video. I told you guys that he's a nightclub owner, right? I'll give you guys 5 seconds to guess what is the name of the nightclub which is owned by Vlad. Hint, he's a Russian. It's easy. Just don't think too much about it, you'll have the answer. I'm waiting 5 seconds. You can pause the video if you want. Give up yet? It's a very easy answer. The club's name is Vodka. Wait, is it a club or is it a restaurant? Now that the characters are introduced, we have the protagonist, Max Payne, the antagonist, Vladimir Lem, and the love interest, Mona Sachs. Of course, these characters are surrounded by extra other side characters which aren't that memorable apart from one. And this guy who I really love and hate a lot at the same time.
Fucking die already!
Now let's talk about the fun part, the gameplay of the game, or how does Max Payne 2 play out. And now since it is an FPS game, the amount of weapons available to your disposal is quite incredible for a game which was released in 2003. But let's be honest, out of this large arsenal that you have, you really don't use like 60% of the weapons. But one thing that you will use a lot, which is in Max Payne's arsenal, is the bullet time. Bullet time is an incredible concept which I love, and I think every game should implement it. Not only does it slows down time, it also gives you the ability to reload like a badass. Now if you ask me which is personally my favorite weapon, my straight up answer is the dual engrams. Yes, it's called an engram. I refuse to call it a Mac-10. I love this game. People who call it Mac-10 are demons, and I do not care even if the majority of the population calls it Mac-10. It's a dual engram. The reason why I love the dual engram is like if you use the dual engram in bullet time while pressing shift and doing that sliding action, my god, the sound is amazing.
I understand.
Like every time I do that, my reaction is like,
That noise. Such a cool noise. Sorry, what was your question?
the gameplay is amazing. Now another part which I found it kind of funny and wanted to cover it was the friendly NPCs that are available to you and you meet throughout playing the game. And these NPCs in these games are incredible. In games like, for example, let's say Call of Duty, when you're playing as either Soap or Gas or anyone and you have Captain Price and everyone around you, your teammates like Gas and Captain Price can tank a fucking rocket and you die to a grenade, which I find like kind of bullshit. Max Payne takes that idea and throws it away. In Max Payne, you watch your friendly helping hand get burned by a Molotov right in front of you. And if you accidentally shoot one of your friendly NPCs, they're gonna turn on you, which is incredible. Suck it, COD. Now let's talk about level detailings and level design. The game perfectly fits the tag noir. Like the environment is so good. It's so good. It's so well captured. The atmosphere of being or having palpable tension in while you play this game, it's amazing. I mean, it's of course the atmosphere isn't like to a level of let's say Bloodborne, but it's quite incredible for a game which was released in 2003. I make that point again. And it's not just that, your exploration is often rewarded. Like if you're curious and you open up again and again stuff like cupboards and interact with other stuff, you're often rewarded with painkillers, ammos and etc. And occasionally the amazing stuff. Another aspect which I really like about Max Payne 2 is that there isn't really any objective written on the top right, like, hey, go do this, go to this point, go to this marker, like how fucking any Ubisoft game does, in which the game assumes you have two brain cells and the game is screaming entire time, over here, motherfucker. Now this is a 21-year-old Aryan appreciating that, but as a 6 or 7-year-old Aryan, I hated that there wasn't any written objective on the direction which you have to go. So you really had to pay attention to the cutscene. And as a 6 or a 7-year-old, my English wasn't the best. And that mission of the construction building where you play as Max and Mona, my god, did my brain... Like the younger Aryan, 6 or 7-year-old Aryan was stuck on that mission for 2 to 3 days. That's how horrible it was for me. Because you're like, oh, go left, go right, oh, go back the where you came from, go to the other side of the building, oh, go to this side of the building, oh, snipe here, oh, gotta reposition again. Like, what is happening? And now as an older guy, I understand that. Perfectly good game design. I mean, the game was written 18 plus, right? But I don't give a shit. Last and the most interesting fun aspect that I will tell you guys about is the TV shows on Max Payne are incredible. Like you'll see Sam Lake, the developer of the game, in almost all of those cutscenes. And while exploring, you'll occasionally come across weird interactions with stuff happening.
Whoa! Is back.
Excuse me, sir. Could you give a small-town girl some directions? 'This is my first time in the city.
'Cause you smell like a small town girl. 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 'Cause
Oh, sir. I guess
Now, while we are on the topic of level design, there is one fucking level apart from that construction level. It's the one where Vinny wears that mascot stuff. And this fucker, and if you've played the game, you know that he gets glitched on the door frame. And I got so annoyed that this idiot gets stuck on every time. For making this video, I played through the game 2 or 3 times. This fucker got stuck on the door every time. Often I let out my frustration on Vinny. No offense to you, Vinny, but what can I say? I get irritated sometimes. The gameplay can occasionally be funny as well, especially if you know how to abuse the shift button.
I'm coming for you. You can run, but you won't get far.
One more funny thing about the game is that save points. Save points, everybody knows save points, that the one thingy on the top right of your screen that pops up and you occasionally don't pay attention. Not occasionally, like 99% of the times you won't pay attention to it. But the save points in Max Payne are pretty funny, and I'll let the video speak for itself.
Cover me. Shoot. Back up. Shoot. Shoot. Shoot to kill. Cover me. Shoot. Cover me.
Can you decipher what's happening? No, right? In this game, you're supposed to press F5 to save. And occasionally while playing, I would press F5, the enemy would ambush me and I would die instantly. And when you would spam spacebar to reload your save, you'll just keep dying again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And it's the most funniest thing that I've seen. So you had to load back to your previous save, and that could possibly be at the start of the mission or in the middle of the mission if you were smart enough. I wasn't, so I had to play the entire mission again. But that's a very small problem, but it was just funny to look at.
When entertainment turns to a surreal reflection of your life, you're a lucky man if you can laugh at the joke. Luck and I weren't on speaking terms. The explosion in my apartment had started a fire. The flames couldn't burn away my past. They only made the shadows behind me leap higher. Your past has a way of sneaking up on you. You'll hear broken echoes of it everywhere, like a bad replay. You get mad at everybody for reminding you about it, even if it's all in your head. As surely as the bullet rips through the victim's flesh, organ, and bone, it shatters the image of the man who presses the trigger.
Now let me just say this, like this video is also a pitch of me asking you to play Max Payne, and of course how much Max Payne meant to me. Just for context, I was a year old when this game released, which is insane. Like this game, for a 2003 game, it's amazing. Like Remedy Entertainment did an incredible job in making these games, and the company would later go on ahead to produce great projects like Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, and now recently released Alan Wake 2 as well. Which is amazing. These games are amazing, and Sam Lake and his team do an incredible job in making these games. Like if you've never played a Remedy game before, or you haven't played any of the Max Payne before, whether that's Max Payne 1 or 2 or 3, you can get your hands on 3 pretty easily. I mean, I bought Max Payne 2 on Steam, and I recommend you checking out the game as well. Max Payne 1 wasn't available, unfortunately. I would have loved to play that as well, but Max Payne 1 isn't that close to me as Max Payne 2 is. I never got the chance to play Max Payne 1 even while trying to record and research for this video. Max Payne 2 is a game which was ahead of its time, and I have so many childhood memories playing this game and being stuck at this game. And I loved every single second of playing this game, and all I can say is thank you to the Remedy team for making such incredible games. I'd love to buy your newer projects, but I'm broke, so maybe later down the years I'll buy them. All I can say to end the video is that I'm really looking forward to the remaster of Max Payne 1 and 2. Let's go!